Hey everyone, welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I just finished seeing Shelby Oaks. I know you can't see it very well, but yeah, I saw Shelby Oaks. This is the directorial debut of Chris Stuckmann, a well-known movie reviewer on YouTube. Um, he directed and wrote this, including the story, as well as Sam Liz, and we have executive producer Mike Flanagan, who I think I more recognize him more for him directing Ouija, Origin of Evil, um, Doctor Sleep, and my one of my personal favorites, Oculus. Um, in terms of the cast, we have Sarah Dern and Camille Sullivan, and Keith David and Charlie Talbot. And frankly, the first two, Sarah Dern and Camille Sullivan, are the main characters in the film overall. Um, yeah, I mean, I'll probably go into it a little bit later, but um, but yeah, I was excited for see the trailer. I know he had a lot of backing. I have tried to stay away from a lot of his content recently because, again, I don't want to watch either his content or some other reviewers who review this. So, you know, because I want to try to form my opinion the best I can. Um, but yeah, I was really excited about this, and yeah, I don't have a ton to say other than let's get on to the review of Shelby Oaks, directed by Chris Stuckmann. So the story goes in Shelby Oaks is that a group of paranormal investigators who create a YouTube channel called the Paranormal Paranoids um, just kind of go around investigating certain areas of the apparently haunted places. One of the investigators is a girl named Riley, who was part of the investigation. But then things happened where the group disappeared and when traveling to the Shelby Oaks. Um, and soon you know, there was a manhunt for a while, and Riley's older sister Mia, was, you know, it keeps hoping that she'll be found at times. And of course, then one day, a man comes up to her door. Um, I don't want to say it because I might get, but if you've seen the trailer, you know what happens to the man. And he was holding a videotape that says Shelby Oaks, and I'm sorry, that's Dottie there. Um, he said it says Shelby Oaks. That gives Mia video footage to look for her sister and find out what happened to this town of Shelby Oaks. What were they doing there? This mystery, as well as something actually paranormal that happens. And I think that's as far as I'll go. I will say it's an interesting movie. I do think it's good, but I don't think it's quite up that level quite yet. I think a lot of it is if you're hoping for, like, well, you know, you're hoping for like well-known like horror films, like some of the past horror films that happen. This one takes an interesting turn because this one, I think it Chris Stuckman does actually pay homage to what found footage, and it's 50% of the about 50% of the time it is, or no, less than 50% of it is found footage, but the rest of it is still like, your typical movie going experience, where it's shot clean and it's and whatnot. Um, so you have that, but the thing is, the intro takes a long time to build up to get the story kind of going. And granted, the intro focuses on not only the found footage, the video footage of the paranormal paranoids and what they were doing, but also a documentary series, not series, but documentary about what happened involving this group of YouTubers, and as well as Mia talking about her sister, you know, you know what makes her different, and I think that's the idea. I think the idea is she's trying to build up build the story involving the sister because there's something going on specifically with her sister, involving dreams and stuff and or night terrors. So the thing is, though, it does feel like the story is kind of all over the place, just a bit, maybe a bit too much, actually. It doesn't always seem flowing because it just feels like it throws in certain things, or it's something you really have to pay attention to because it can be confused. It's sort of easy to understand as you watch and you're kind of putting the pieces together. But I don't know. It kind you kind of get lost in the story a bit because it doesn't feel like it's telling it straightforward necessarily. And there are some weird moments like Mia gets covered in blood at one point and she doesn't, and for a while she doesn't even wipe it off, which is really weird. The ending is like, are you kidding me? Like, um, after everything that went down, it just seems like they're making really bad decisions. Um, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I will say it is very atmospheric. It has creepy moments. There's not many jump scares. I don't. Chris Stuckman didn't really like to rely on jump scares too much. So it's more about the creepiness, the atmosphere, um, seeing stuff that isn't there, that might be there, including we get images of like found footage stuff, stuff in the background. Sometimes we don't even see it right away. So I mean that's pretty good. A lot of it does feel like it's the Blair Witch Project in a way, but where the um, yeah, I think in a way he kind of takes the Blair Witch Project, and while he can't just say this really happened, he kind of builds on, this actually happened, in a way. Um, I hope I'm making sense. I'm probably not. Again, I'm recording this late, so I'm pretty tired. But the acting's good. The characters are good. Well, I mean, the two sisters are good. Are pretty good. Overall, they do it well with their performances. Whether even if Riley's kind of off screen, like for most of for like a little bit more than half of the film, but she does a really good job overall. I think I would have liked to have explored more characters or have more characters involved so I can remember them well. I mean, they have Keith David in here, and while I like Keith David, he does really good in here. He's just kind of one and done. He just kind of leaves, um, and never to be seen again. Um, there's supposed to be this mystery on what happened in Shelby Oaks, and they kind of go look into it, but it's not explored enough. I don't think either that or I missed something. Um, but I don't know. I think the town looks pretty is definitely looks pretty creepy, especially at night. I didn't know where the story was going to go, but exactly, but there are hints of it early on. I do oftentimes when I suspect there's something going to jump out or do this, I kind of cover my ears because I don't do loud noises very well. Um, but there aren't, like I said, there aren't too many jump scares to you know, do that. There's like maybe a couple of them. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm making this short because I think it is a good movie. I just can't reveal so much because there is quite a lot. But I think overall, I'm going to give Shelby Oaks 3.5 stars. I think it is good. I I think it is good, but I think the story could have been polished a little bit more, make it more coherent and flows more naturally. Um, but that's maybe that's my opinion. Again, I saw this late. I don't usually do go to the movies late at night anymore because I get pretty tired. So, but this is the first showing. So the characters are great. I would have liked more characters involved in the story. Like Mia has a husband, but he's just kind of there. He doesn't really do a ton. Um, there is kind of hint that he could have been, but maybe that was cut overall. So yeah, I I think that's about it. I can say. I say if you were a fan of Chris Stuckmann, check out Shelby Oaks and see what you think. And I think it's a worthwhile watch overall. Probably not going to scare you like quite a bit, but may creep you out or get under your skin a bit. So yeah. But what are your thoughts on Shelby Oaks? Would you give like or dislike the review? Feel free to mention in the comments what your thoughts on the movie. Feel free to also subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. And I just forgot something. Yeah, got my ticket here. I keep forgetting to do these now. I might just stop doing it because it's probably pointless. But I don't know. I thought this was a cool idea at the start. Um, let me know if you want me to continue doing that. But otherwise, I might just stop doing it. I don't know. In any case, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye.